Hello and welcome to the CamBlock Laboratory. I'm Stewart, inventor of the CamBlock, and I'm here to show you some of the latest features that are going to be rolled out in the next version of software. We have our little rig here. We've mounted this camera to our controller, hopefully make it pretty easy to see what's going on the screen there. So let's get started. Here we have the CamBlock software as normal, and now we have a whole new Panoramic Grid function of the CamBlock software. And so we've entered that, and here we have the basic layout of the screen. We control our camera for positioning like we always have with the keypad. We can add columns and rows to create a panoramic grid from just a few images to hundreds of images. We have our overlap box here, which allows us to change how much overlap there is between images, and then our travel, which is horizontal travel and vertical travel, which is how far it's actually moving between the frames. So let's go into settings here, and we'll see that I've had it set for a 70mm lens on a Canon APS-C size camera, because that's what I have. I have a little Canon Rebel on there, and then it calculates and tells me that that is 18 degrees horizontal field of view and 12 degrees vertical field of view. That would of course change based on the millimeter of the lens and the size of the sensor, so you need to make sure you have that right in there. Then we have our basic information for setting up the trigger, and then we have our interface methods. And basically there's three of them here: our set center overlap priority, set center travel priority, and constrain corners. Set center overlap priorities we got. So we'll return, we'll go here, and what we do is we find the center of our panorama, and I'll hit set center and accept that. And now I have my columns and rows, and I can tweak that up to be the field of view that I want. So let's see, 78 degrees, let's do that. 93 degrees there, and we don't need to go real tall. We'll just have 3 rows and 29 degrees vertically for our total field of view. Here you see our overlap. The overlap is the amount, again, that the images are overlapping each other so that there's some common image area between them, so your photo stitching software can marry those images up. And I can just go to any of these frames here to see, hey, that's how far I want to go. I just click on it, it goes there, and then I can hit shoot, and the camera will go through and do its thing, shooting all of the frames in that panoramic grid. And it just basically makes a S movement starting the top left and goes across, down, across, down, across to shoot them as quickly and efficiently as possible. Now I'm going to just stop this prematurely here in the settings and show you now set center travel priority. Travel priority now means that I can actually just manually set the degrees that I want it to travel, and then the corresponding graph here shows you what's going on. Now it is possible for me to travel further than I'm actually capable of seeing. Basically, if I can make it travel here, I'm making it travel 25 degrees, but I remember that I actually only have 18 degrees of field of view, so there's going to be some missed image area if I use that. And that shows you both the numbers up there by having a negative overlap, and it also shows you on the screen by having those orange lines that show you. So if I were to shoot this now, I'd want to make sure I had some overlap. So I'd want to bring down my travel to fit, and there we go. Let's bring that down just a little, hit shoot, and there the system goes, just like normal. It'll shoot all the frames in that panorama. And now finally, if we check out our settings, we can go to constrained corner mode. Now in this mode, what I'll do is I'll come up here and I'll set my upper left, and then I'll come and I'll set my bottom right, my down right there. And what this does is it basically constrains the size of your panorama. It's going to go from point A to point B. That's going to be its size, and then you divide up how many columns and rows are in there. And when I do that, you can see that given my lens, I need to have a minimum of 5 columns and 6 rows to keep the overlap from going negative, to make sure I have the screens. So make sure everything's overlapped and can get married together. So I kind of like 6 and 6 there. We'll use that. You hit shoot, and the system will go through and shoot all of those 36 images to create a panoramic grid. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this new feature, and those of you that are existing customers can expect to see this in a software update released next week. Enjoy!